Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So I just want to wait and see if a couple people are hopping on. In the meantime, I will just take a little bit of a refresher of what I spoke about last week. So last week we were talking about the three main things that people usually, hi Deborah, the three main things that the three main general things that usually bother people when it comes to their health. And those are stress, digestive issues, as well as lack of sleep. And my talk last week was all about taking action. Hi Joe. My talk last week was all about taking action. Can you guys hear me? Just give me a wave if you can. So talking about taking action instead of just acquiring knowledge about what we need to do, and taking thanks Joe. Joe's one of my big supporters. So just moving in from that, hi Mandy, moving into a spot of taking action instead of acquiring knowledge about ways that we can improve our life and health. So this week I thought I would help out with 3 little steps that you can do to manage your stress a little bit better. And stress is one of those things that we all experience. None of us has stress-free lives, so don't ever feel like you are alone in the stress world. It is not something that we can always help, and then there are times where we are 100% responsible for our stresses. So and last week, if you remember, we were talking about how stress, sleep and digestion all relate together. So when we have a stressful situation, hi Irene, happening in our lives, we'll probably find that our sleep is not working for us, or we're sleeping but it's very disrupted. And then oftentimes when we are stressed out, our digestion starts giving us hassles, get belly aches. Some people have more severe issues, develop food allergies in the long run. So a lot of ways that these 3 elements fit together. So today we're just going to focus on stress, and then in the next 2 weeks I will cover sleep and digestion. So and the reason why I'm starting with these are because they are so common, and especially stress. So stress is one of the biggest things. If you can get a handle on stress, you will find that life will feel and look a lot better. So if any of you have experienced a relief of stress before, give me some hearts or thumbs up, or give me a little bit of your experience, and I'll share with everyone on the live what you say, if you like. So stress is it's a big thing, especially for me as well. I used to be a massive stress ball, and sometimes I still am. So it's not like it's something that I can just or could have switched off like 100%. But from my personal experience is, if I have my stress levels managed, I have a lot more of a balance in my life, and it spills over again, as I said, into my sleeping patterns, the way I look and feel, my skin feels better, just a whole bunch of things actually follow on when my stress levels are good. My immune system as well is one of the big things that usually takes a knock when I feel too much stress. And the other thing is I used to suffer from chronic migraines. I would have at least once a month, maybe two, 3 a month, and they would last for days. And if I manage my stress levels, it actually helps in my favor. So being constantly aware of when I need to increase the stress management as well. Like, so there's times where I've got little measures in place, but sometimes they might not be enough, and I need to add a little bit more into the things I need to do. So stress is, as I mentioned before, comes from there's two different types of stresses that we experience as humans. And the first one is external stresses. So these are stresses that we have very little or no control over. So stresses like stresses from society, the way we need to act and behave in a certain way, the way we need to earn certain amounts of living, hi Dawn, the way we need to earn a certain income to fit into the social profile. We also have stress from social media or advertising that keeps bombarding us to be a certain way, to look a certain way, and yeah, like all these, especially TV ads where you see all these relaxed people, as if like they don't experience any stress in their lives. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that is sometimes like just overwhelming. There's never a TV ad, unless they're selling a drug for combating stress, about the stresses we experience in life. Another stress that's external to us is toxins in the environment. So this might not have a emotional stress effect on us, but on a physical level it definitely does. So there's pollutants in the air, there's injectables and sprays that that most manufacturers add to our foods, and especially if you eat meat products, there's a lot of hormones that get added to our produce. And unfortunately, all this stuff we ingest on a daily basis, we breathe it in, and that's not really, we don't have much of control over it unless we go and live somewhere on a deserted island where we don't have any of that. So it's that's one of the stresses that we really have very little control over. We do to an extent, because we can choose to eat good quality foods and vegetables, but breathing air, unfortunately, there's not much we can do about what's in the air. And then, as I mentioned, the foods we eat can also add an external stress on the body, because that is laden with additives, preservatives, chemicals, and so forth. Fruits and vegetables are mostly sprayed or chemically enhanced, and the same with our meat products, same with dairy. So these kind of things all add stress into the body. So we might not feel it on an emotional level, as I mentioned, but there's definitely a stress that happens in the internally, and our body needs to react to toxins. It needs to process toxins but unfortunately we get so many of them on a daily basis that the body really battles to handle these. And this added with the emotional stresses that we experience can really compound, and the next minute you completely having a breakdown because you can't find your car keys, or the dishes haven't been done, and you just have like a complete meltdown at your husband or your family for not being there, or helping out, or you know what I'm saying. I'm sure you guys have experienced that, where you just all of a sudden out of nowhere you just snappy and everything else. So then there's internal stresses, and these are probably some of the most stress that we put on ourselves, and that is where we actually we are too hard on ourselves. We compare ourselves to others, and again to what we think, how we need to fit into society. We add stresses onto the body by the way our posture is, the way we sit, the way we stand, the way we basically, we've come to a society, I see this every day on the train, where everyone has started doing this. They're all reading their digital devices. The shoulders are all rounded. The whole body is hunched forward. And when you do that, your whole axis and spine has been compromised because it's no longer in a stable state, which you normally want. It's not a straight spine because the spine has curves, but it needs to be upright in a comfortable position. So even sometimes when we sit, we prop ourselves up because we want the world to see us, or we want to sometimes subconsciously look bigger to the world so that we can fit in with the world. So there's lots of ways where our posture can affect our bodies, and what happens when we hunch over or we over prop ourselves is the muscles in our back, hi Vicky, especially the muscles the muscles that surround the spine, which is our core axis, they become weak, and this sends stress signals to the body. So there's muscles and nerves that run in the back of the spine, and they communicate to the brain at all times about whether we are safe in the world. And this is a natural reaction because we want the body, our physical nature is to survive. And the way the brain does that is by sending signals out to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord checks for equilibrium and homeostasis in the body. And then if it finds muscles or shoulders that are hunched over or uptight, it all signals stress to the brain. So the brain starts thinking, oh, well, there's stress in the world, we better prepare. And the way the body prepares for stress is by releasing a hormone called cortisol. So not sure if you guys have heard of the hormone cortisol. I think sometimes it has been made quite a big, it's got quite a big name out there in the world, but some might not have heard of it. Cortisol is a stress hormone that gets created by the pancreas, and the pancreas, the adrenal glands. So the the body senses stress in the form of internal or external stress, and sometimes it could even be our thought process, our continuous spiral of thoughts that I am not good enough, I am not the best, if I don't work hard, I'm not going to get a promotion. If I don't get a promotion, I can't provide for my family. All these things circle in the mind, and this puts immense stresses on the body. So we are not, we are intricate organisms, because we are not just a body, we are not just a mind. We pick up on different energies in the world, we pick up on other people's feelings and thoughts. So we definitely are not just robots or material things. And when there's, especially in the body-mind system, if there's stress found in one of them, the body will start reacting to protect us. So it's not like it's cortisol is the enemy. Cortisol is getting us ready to run. So cortisol gets produced by the pancreas, or the adrenal glands, and hi Elizabeth, cortisol then helps prepare the body for running away from that tiger. I'm sure you've heard this analogy before. So we were built to, hi Michelle, we were built to live in basically a state of peace, but also to react quickly to any stress that comes along our way. So that means back when we were simple folk living in caves and living outdoors with all sorts of threats of animals that would be harmful to us, that would mean that we would have these short bursts of cortisol that would send out to our body, that helps the body react and run fast. It's our fight or flight hormone. And unfortunately, what we've done with our environments, our thought processes, and the way we are in the world, is we have turned on cortisol almost 100% all the time. And as I said, there's certain things that we could help, and there's other things like our environments that unfortunately is there all the time. So cortisol has an effect on our metabolism, and it also has an effect on the way, on our sleep patterns. If there's higher levels of cortisol, obviously we will not be able to sleep because the body's in attack mode, and it wants to get ready for battle, basically. So it is quite important that we try and manage our stresses a little bit during the day so that we can come out of that attack mode, find some calm, and that's where the body heals. The body cannot heal in attack mode, because in attack mode we are ready to fight off any threat or danger that's immediate. So what happens is all the blood rushes from our internal organs into our limbs, and our immune system and our digestion especially is affected by the blood flow leaving our organs, and that's why if we're in high states of stress, we start feeling that we get sick more often, and we probably find that we sometimes find that our bodies store more fats, especially for us women. We store a lot more fats in our hip and stomachs, and this is all due to the cortisol, because the body has no time to digest the food, blood's in the limbs, and the body now has food in its stomach and it needs to put it somewhere, and the way it stores excess is in the form of fats. So that's why it's if you are on a weight loss journey, it is very important to try and manage your stress levels. But even if you're not on a weight loss journey, if you're just on trying to survive in this big wide world, the constant stresses in your life can have severe effects on your heart, digestion, and your it even affects the way you breathe, because once when the body is stressed out, your abdomen muscles tighten up, and once that happens, there's less space for the lungs to expand into the lower part of the abdomen while you're breathing. So you're taking in less oxygen, and this also has a massive effect on just respiration and breathing in fresh oxygen. And the less we breathe, the less we nourish our cells. So it's a sick cycle. And luckily there are ways that we can manage stresses a little bit better. So that's what I thought I would talk about today. So yes, cortisol also increases our blood sugar, which means then there's more insulin present in the body, and high blood sugar is also a sign of danger to the body. The body finds that's also like another stress signal. So if we it almost becomes a continuous cycle. The more cortisol the more we stress, the more cortisol we have, the more the body feels stress, the more it produces insulin, and the more insulin's in the body, the more stressed the body is. So we just have these continuous cycles of our hormones being out of whack, and the body just being immensely under stress. And you'll feel stress often. I know you probably feel stress in different parts, but for me, I feel stress in my upper shoulders and my abdomen. My stomach muscles really get very tight, and it's actually my belly actually becomes painful because I'm holding on so tight. I'm clenching those muscles so tightly, and that's what then fatigues the muscles in that area, fatigues the muscles in my back, and then that's where I start seeing headaches, I start seeing backaches, and everything else. So it's therefore one of our main missions in life. It should be to try and combat a little bit of stress, especially the internal stresses that we cause on ourselves, because those are the ones that we have more control over. So today I thought I would give you 3 small actionable steps, because I want you to be able to start combating stress, so that you can see changes in your life, and you can feel better about just in general, just feel better. The muscles will relax, and yeah, these are small little things that you can do and you don't have to make changes about all 3. You can pick one that seems manageable to you, and we're all different. And also, if you stuck with finding other ways, please let me know, and I will send you some additional tips. But there are so many tips to manage stress out there. I'm sure you would have noticed that if you enter how to decrease my stress or how to manage my stress, you will see those hundreds and thousands of little pieces of advice that will help you stress less. So I encourage you to take responsibility for your stress in your life, and just make sure that every day you wake up and decide, well, how am I going to manage something that's stressful today? So take out a journal every day, plan your day. You know, sometimes, I have that meeting, it's quite stressful, a lot rides on that, or today I have to run around and manage the kids all day, I'm not going to be able to eat. That's how busy my day is. If you can manage that in the morning and mentally prepare yourself for the stresses that are coming, you'll already start making, hi Christine, taking some action into bringing those stresses down. So the first little piece of advice I want to give you about stress management is eating healthy foods. So that is one way. Like I mentioned, we have so many additives into our food, additives into even our water. So there's definitely benefit in eating healthy foods. And when I say healthy, it doesn't mean that you have to eat kale or all the stuff that that's perceived as extremely health conscious and like that's the way it is. But you can make sure that you limit certain things, and some major irritants into our that causes stress on the body is foods like sugar, and like if you know you've got certain food allergies as well, sometimes dairy could be quite a big irritant, gluten for example. Again, I'm not saying cut these out, I'm just saying see where you could maybe shorten the time or the amount that you take in of that food on a daily basis. So if you're having 5 coffees a day with 2 sugars in each, maybe you can cut down to just 1 sugar in each of those coffees, or maybe cutting down on some of the coffees. Speaking of, caffeine is also, even though we think it helps us stay awake, and even though we think it helps us cope in stressful times, mostly caffeine, because we overuse it, actually adds to that stressful point in your life. So if you can limit your caffeine intake, you will help manage the cortisol levels as well. So just making small little adjustments when it comes to eating. So I thought, well, instead of just giving you things that you shouldn't eat, I would rather give you things that you can eat that will help with stress levels. And the first one is eating chocolates. So when I say chocolate, I mean dark chocolates. If you can find a beautiful, good quality dark chocolate over at least 75%, make sure that the chocolates, when you look at the back of the packet, the portion size has less than a teaspoon of sugar in the portion, and have a piece of chocolate every day. It's rich in antioxidants, which will help the body combat some of the stresses and toxins that we have in our system, and it has a calming effect on the nervous system as well. So some doctors actually promote the eating of chocolates. So there we go. You don't have to cut out the chocolate, maybe just switch it to a higher quality or a higher percentage of cacao. And this is a beautiful treat. I love eating my dark chocolate every day. It's adds just that little bit of a treat, but it also has a nice, hi Tony, nice beautiful mental effect on me as well. It just helps me feel like I'm not being deprived from sugars or from having a treat every now and then. So I'm just going to wave at some of these people. All right, so then the next one that you can have is eating your fruits. So fruits have been villainized in the last couple of years with the quitting of sugar movements, but fruits have got amazing properties, amazing vitamins and minerals that support your body throughout the day. It provides lots of antioxidants as well, and it provides the body with fiber. So definitely have a piece of fruit. This will help your body immensely. So I would rather have a piece of fruit than avoiding sugar all completely, because sugar is packaged in natural form, and just making sure that you get your fruits and veggies as well, but mostly fruit. Fruit is really good for just helping us find that little sweetness in our day, but it has the added benefits, hi Yvonne, added benefits of having that beautiful health benefits that comes with it. So it's like a double whammy. Right, so the next one when it comes to eating healthy is drinking lots of water. This keeps our cells nourished, and when our cells are nourished, our body feels more like it's in homeostasis. It also helps to nourish our muscles, and when the muscles are if we allow the muscles to relax, it will absorb the fluids, and that will help the muscles function better, and we'll feel less tension in our bodies, less tense in our shoulders and all those achy bits. So definitely great. And then another thing that you can add to help with stress, especially on the digestive system, is adding a good quality probiotic. Obviously check out this with your doctor or your pharmacist to make sure that you taking something that's correct for your body and something that's high quality. A lot of times probiotics are basically just pharmaceutical nothingness, because they get damaged in the process or manufacturing process and so forth. So it's if you are going to be taking probiotic, make sure that you chat to your doctor first, so he can give you a good quality probiotic that will help you ease the stress in your digestive system. If you ease the digestive system, you reduce that little bit of stress or a lot of stress in the body. So that's always a good one to have. The next tip is getting more sleep and getting good quality sleep. So next week we will be going into more tips on getting more sleep, but just identifying where in your life you can add a little bit more sleep, especially if you're feeling sleep deprived. And a good tip for sleeping better is just going to bed half an hour or an hour earlier. That will already just give you that extra little boost that you need to manage your stress levels better. that gives your body a chance to digest. It gives your liver a chance to replenish a little bit as well. So, which will help your body manage with the external toxins that we were talking about. And the last one, which is probably the most important one, and this is where I keep messing up too when it comes to my stress levels, and that is slowing down. So just clearing off things off your plate that doesn't need to be there. Waking up in a calm state, and just taking things slower during the day, taking little breaks. And these don't have to be hour-long breaks in between working. Little 5-minute breaks throughout the day will help you feel revitalized and great. So that's always a good piece of advice that I don't always follow, to be honest with you. So when I need to manage my stress levels, the first place I go and look is, where have I taken on too much, and where can I slow down in my body? Because the minute you slow down, you start stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest nervous system, and this will actually help our muscles relax. It will help our digestion, our digestive tract absorb better nutrients, and it will help us just approach life with a lot more calm. And even mentally, if we're slowing down, we think rationally, and we're less likely to react to situations, and we're more likely to respond in a calmer fashion. And by doing that, for example, if you know you've got that busy day coming up, and if you, like I do in the mornings, I go and identify where my stressful times will be in the day, and then I plan around how to make them less stressful, more calm. I then am able to take a deep breath and just approach those things with a lot more ease. And in that, my whole body relaxes, my my jaw relaxes, so I'm not clenching my jaw, I'm not holding into the muscles in my stomach. And even just approaching my day with that calm helps me to slow down even more. And by the end of the day, it feels like if I've approached my day with calm, it almost feels like I spent the day at a day spa, even though there were stressful things in my life. And it feels like it was just handled so much better, and I'm not going into the next day with as much stress as I had the day before. So I would love to know which one of these 3 strategies you are able to take and apply into your daily life. Please comment, even if you're watching the replay on this. Comment and share. Let us all know in the group like what your feelings are on how you can take any one of these little stress busters and applying it into your day. Looking forward to our catch up next week. The sprinklers have just turned on. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get wet. I will see you soon. Bye.